Update. I think my boyfriend is exaggerating or faking his illness. Original post. I, 26 female, have been with my boyfriend, 30 male, for a little under 2 years. In the time we've been together, his chronic pain, which isn't connected to any particular or known condition as he refuses to go to the doctor, has gotten worse and worse. It's reached a point where he's almost incapable of doing chores or house projects, is usually too exhausted, in pain to make or agree to plans, and getting him to do anything outside of the house together is like pulling teeth. His objections always revolve around his pain and fatigue. I've never suffered from chronic pain, thank God, so I'm not one to judge or accuse someone of making it up, since the pain itself is invisible and my boyfriend looks perfectly healthy. But he's now been unemployed for about 4 months, and I'm starting to question things. I'm starting to feel doubtful for a number of reasons, and the main ones are that A. He never turns down his friends' invitations to hang out, even when the activity is something physically intense like kayaking, hiking, or going to a music festival. B. He is never too tired or in too much pain to have sex. Over time, it's almost made it seem like he's conveniently in an unbearable amount of pain when he has to do something he isn't all that interested in, like chores. And I'm starting to feel hurt that he just doesn't seem to want to hang out with me outside of what we do lazing around the house. I've never accused him of faking or exaggerating his pain, but I have tried to talk to him about doing more fun stuff together, and it always circles back to his pain or him accusing me of trying to keep him from spending time with his friends, which I'm not trying to do by any means. I've done a ton of research into autoimmune disorders and other conditions that could be causing his problem, always bringing my findings and suggestions to him, but he just doesn't believe a doctor or any traditional medicine will help him. I'm also bothered because when we go to family outings or parties that we're both invited to, it's rare but it does happen, he will talk anyone's ear off about how bad his chronic pain is and how frustrating it is to not be able to find a solution. The thing is, he's not actually looking for a solution. He just smokes weed every day and calls that good enough, while lamenting and complaining that his body is the way that it is. He also refuses to return to work because of his pain. For additional context, he seems to have really extreme muscle spasms and tightness, particularly in his back. I'm happy to support him through hard times, but the fact that he won't work is getting concerning, and I feel severely stuck. I'm not interested in supporting him financially on a long-term basis, but at the moment, I partially am by covering some of his expenses. If this post makes me a total a-hole for questioning the degree of my boyfriend's chronic pain, so be it. I just need help and answers. So, here are my questions. Where do I go from here? Do you think it's possible that my boyfriend is using his pain as a crutch? Should I put some kind of ultimatum in place that will get him medical care or attention? Your advice is appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the update. As someone with chronic pain, even if he wasn't lying, I'd leave him. Chronic pain freaking sucks. I've been there. It's been over 13 years of it, but it kinda just sounds like he slowly made you into his bangmaid. Either he's faking it so he doesn't have to work or do any chores, or he has no interest in improving his situation, which isn't sustainable if the person isn't going to pursue medical help or disability benefits. Bangmaid that covers his bills no less. Run OP run! Even if he does have chronic illness, he isn't doing anything to get a diagnosis or treatment, and he is willing to push on for things that benefit him and only him. He's also developed a drug addiction he has no plans of curbing. I am chronically ill. I am busting my butt trying to find answers and help because living like this sucks. I do everything in my power to support my partner and care for our home. While sometimes that's not a ton, I always prioritize contributing to my household over kayaking, which even if I could push through to do, would put me down for a week. This man is using and taking advantage of you, disabled or not. He also has dumped this on you without you consenting to be his financial caretaker. You're not married. There is no in sickness and health here. Leave him. The combination of misery because of my pain and the guilt because my partner has to take care of me is enough to drive me into self-hatred most days. The fact that her boyfriend is just content with his life without taking any steps to feel better is wild. Now for the update. Thank you to everyone who responded to my post and was so compassionate and kind. It was incredible to hear from so many people who actively battle chronic pain and illness, and those with loved ones who do. On to my update. Armed with some fresh perspectives and some fresh frustrations, I talked to my boyfriend and told him that he needs to see a doctor, or I will no longer be able to support him financially and stand by while he remains unemployed and unmotivated to get the help he needs. I also addressed the idea of managing and balancing his energy levels differently so that we're able to share household responsibilities more effectively, spend quality time together, and keep him doing the things he loves with his friends. His response was really bad. He told me that if I'm not willing to step up and clean around the house, something I'm already doing, there's no use living together, and that my efforts to clean are the bare minimum and not good enough for his standards anyway. He was also really mad that I haven't taken initiative to take care of yard projects and car repairs. He sat there and spouted off a whole list of things I'm not noticing and cleaning. And once again, he was focused on this idea that I don't like his friends, or I'm jealous of them and want him spending less time with them, which isn't true at all. This really stung. He basically brushed over everything I said and focused on my perceived faults. This told me everything I need to know, and I told him I was leaving. He was just mad, not sad or hurt at all. I'm still crying excessively over his whole reaction. I still don't know how real or unreal his chronic pain is, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Thank you again, everyone, for your support and kindness. I'm truly at a loss. OP, I remember your first post. I know you're very sad right now, and you have a right to be. But don't let grief overstay its welcome. You are so much better off, and he just lost his bangmaid. Expect him to come crawling back when he realizes you're serious. Don't believe anything he says. This internet stranger is proud of you. You deserve someone who can be your partner regardless of whether they have an illness. That doesn't mean they're critical or cruel. Listen to me. You will wait a week, or 2, or 4, but he will try to come back to you. You did everything for him. No one else is going to do that. While taking on all the financial burdens, yeah, he's toast. He was absolutely faking it. You don't need to think twice about it. Update us when he comes crawling back, or once his parents are done with him. Good for you. I remember this from the other day, and I was so upset that you did all that for so long. You're going to be much better off in life, and I'm excited for you. Agreed. I've got a chronic condition. He was 100% faking it because they don't suddenly lessen when you want to do something. This 100%. I have missed out on so many things I genuinely would have loved just because I was struggling too much. I can't even bring myself to do the things that bring me joy or comfort when I am having a bad health day. It wears on your quality of life as a whole, not just your ability to do things you don't want to do. This makes me furious. My wife has a litany of chronic health issues and deals with daily pain. It took her from being on her way to med school to genuinely being unable to work. But yet she is still the hardest working person I've ever seen. Always on top of everything, trying different doctors, still taking care of our daughter and her health conditions. She even became PTA president at her school to do all she could to give her a good school life. Her health has been declining for over a decade, but her determination and perseverance keep growing. I look up to her for the strength she shows. F this guy 1000%. Next story. I, 28 male, am considering leaving my girlfriend, 29 female, after she catfished me as a prank. Me and my girlfriend have been together for 2 years. I always thought she was very sweet and kind, and I really appreciate how much she loves me. And while she sometimes got a little jealous, I didn't think it was a big deal. Heck, maybe I even enjoyed being doted on like that. It made me feel really attractive, which I never really felt I was. Recently, we attended a work event organized by my company, and we met one of my coworkers there. She works at a different branch, and we hardly ever talk outside of work emails and calls, but we get along well enough. This event was my girlfriend's first and only time meeting this coworker. On the way back from the event and the following day, my girlfriend was acting a little weird. She kept asking me about a work wife and asking if I thought that coworker was pretty and other stuff about her. I knew my girlfriend could get kinda jealous, and I did my best to calm her down. No, that woman isn't my work wife. I don't follow her on any socials. I don't even have her personal phone number. I don't think she's more beautiful than my girlfriend, and I am happy with my girlfriend, etc. And she seemed to relax and things got back to normal. A few weeks later, out of nowhere, I got a follow request on IG, my account is private, from my coworker. I approved and followed back. Her account is also private. That account was almost nothing but a few pictures of her in swimsuits, uploaded very recently. I hadn't checked at the time and didn't really scroll her account at all. It didn't look like anything overtly sexy, just normal vacation pics. But there was nothing but vacation pics. It seemed weird, but I didn't really care. Then a few days later, she DM'd me on IG. It was just small talk and I replied, but it wasn't flirty or anything in my opinion. She kept reaching out every few days, and eventually it did seem to get kind of flirty. I told her this felt inappropriate and I was in a relationship, and I'd appreciate it if we kept things professional, which she seemed okay with. My girlfriend seemed extra affectionate the days after that, and while I didn't suspect anything in real time, you can all probably see exactly where this is going. Still, at the time I was happy, and my girlfriend even seemed to be better regarding her jealousy. But then last week, I got a follow recommendation on my IG. It was my coworker's account. This one wasn't private and was just a normal IG account, and looking through it, those swimsuit pics were just a part of her normal IG account, which contained mostly normal pics. I then put two and two together. Before confronting my girlfriend, I talked to that coworker at work and asked for her IG account, and she gave me her normal one which I followed, and indeed she gave no indication that we ever interacted on IG before. So it became clear I was being catfished. I confronted my girlfriend then, and at first, when I was trying to be subtle, she denied everything outright. Then she shifted to gaslighting me about it and saying it was just a prank, or that it was a test, or that because she was cheated on before, she just needed to know that she could trust me. I told her that her being able to trust me was great, but how am I supposed to trust her now? She said that made no sense, and kept deflecting no matter how I tried to explain, going so far as to question how I even knew it was her if I wasn't cheating on her with my coworker. I told her that this was unfair and manipulative, and that I needed some time and went home. She's been texting and calling since, saying that I'm ruining a great relationship over nothing, I'm overreacting, and that when I finally realize how much she loves me, it might be too late, and it's not fair for me to throw everything we built out over some skank. But that just feels incredibly manipulative to me, and like she doesn't get what she did wrong at all. So, I'm conflicted between wanting to just cut and run and giving it another go. After all, we have been happy together for 2 years. But also, can trust be rebuilt after something like this? Now for the advice. I couldn't forgive someone after they breached my trust like this. The fact that she did this with no care for the consequences too? You could have potentially reported your colleague to HR, shows incredibly poor judgment, as well as all of the obvious other problems with this. This is likely not the only unhinged thing she's done in your relationship, and it won't be the last. I don't think she ever did anything on this level before, but obviously there were signs. I just didn't really want to see it, because I was never regarded as particularly attractive, and having someone be this into me just felt really nice. But I guess a lot of this is my own issues I need to work through, and this relationship is clearly not as great as I may have thought. Never stay with anyone who tests you. They want you to fail the test to prove their doubts are genuine. Every time you pass, they'll be loving for a bit until another doubt enters their head and they come up with another test for you to pass. It's no way to live your life. No trust equals no relationship. This is it. I didn't even realize how much of a test some of the previous stuff had been, like asking my opinion on other women, or getting my opinion on characters cheating on TV. There was just always something. Last story. My husband, 29 male, and his family disowned his mom, 56 female, after her affair. I didn't. Now the emotional consequences are taking a toll on my marriage. Need advice. I've been with my husband for 7 years, married for almost 1. This has been a genuinely good relationship. I love him deeply, and we've built something I'm proud of. He fits in great with my family, and I've always felt at home with his. I'm close with his younger brother and his girlfriend, but the person I've always felt the strongest connection with is his mom. A few years back, I went through a rough, depressive episode, and she was one of the only people who truly showed up for me. She didn't treat me like her son's partner. She treated me like family. I've always loved her for that. I'm close with my father-in-law too, but with my mother-in-law, it always felt like more of a friendship. Then everything flipped. Just after Christmas, my father-in-law sat us all down and told us that she had been having an affair, and that it wasn't the first time. He said he tried to make things work, but he couldn't do it anymore. He was heartbroken, and it shattered the whole family. My husband and his brothers were crushed. They all cut contact with her, and she moved out soon after. I get it. Cheating is a betrayal, especially after decades of marriage. I'm not trying to excuse what she did, but I also couldn't ignore the fact that, during one of the worst times in my life, she showed me care and kindness when I felt like I had no one. That stayed with me. A few weeks ago, she reached out to me directly. She said she was running low on rent and didn't know who else to ask. She sounded anxious and desperate. I helped her. It wasn't a huge amount, and she was incredibly grateful. She asked if I'd be willing to meet her for coffee, and I said yes. When we met, she broke down. She told me she'd tried reaching out to her sons, but none of them responded. I listened. I didn't try to defend her or fix anything. I just tried to be there for her, the way she once was for me. Later that evening, I told my husband about it. He completely lost it. He said I betrayed him and went behind his back, and he left the house. The next day, I tried to explain where I was coming from. I told him I wasn't trying to choose sides. I just reacted to someone I care about being in a tough spot. He didn't say much, just told me not to do it again. When his brothers found out, they were disappointed in me too. They said I crossed the line and should have respected their decision to cut contact. Now I feel stuck. I understand why they're upset. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just couldn't turn my back on someone who once didn't turn her back on me. I wasn't trying to undermine their pain. I was trying to act with compassion. I'm not here to justify what I did, and I understand why my husband feels hurt. I acted on instinct and compassion in a tough moment, but now I feel like I've damaged something really important. I'd really appreciate advice as to what to do further. How do I navigate this? Where you went wrong is not talking to your husband first before meeting your mother-in-law. No matter if your decision was helping her out, no matter what he said, you should have still let him know first how you feel and why. Going behind someone's back and asking sorry later is not how loving relationships works. It's how business relationships work. It's how cheaters work too. It's also how people who condone cheating look. Definitely should have talked to your husband first before going behind his back. I get you wanted to help, but he is your partner who is hurting, and you deceived him just like his mother. Husband's likely fear is that OP thinks cheating is okay.